Welcome you all for direct taxation class. In today's class, we will understand one more problem with respect to salary, where we will also understand about how to calculate tax liability. So, I will go with the problem. Mr. Surendra, 50 years, is employed by P Limited and Q Limited on a part-time basis. During the previous year 2019-20, he gets basic salary rupees 20,000 per month and house rent allowance rupees 6,000 per month from P Limited. Besides, P Limited provides a car 1500cc for official and private use. The entire expenditure of maintenance rupees 48,000, repairs rupees 6,000, insurance rupees 9,000 and driver's salary rupees 72,000 is borne by the company. Mr. Surendra does not pay any rent. He resides with his family in a house provided by Q Limited. From Q Limited, Mr. Surendra gets basic salary rupees 36,000 per month and transport allowance for commuting between office and residence rupees 1,800. Besides, Q Limited has provided a rent-free unfurnished house at Hanuman Nagar. Population of Hanuman Nagar is 11 lakh. Rent paid by Q Limited is rupees 12,000 per month. Income of Mr. Surendra from other sources is rupees 4,90,000, out of which rupees 8,000 per month is pension from the government where he was employed before joining P Limited and Q Limited. P Limited, Q Limited and Mr. Surendra contribute 10% of salary towards recognized provident fund. Interest is credited in the provident fund account at a rate of 9%. Every year, Mr. Surendra deposits rupees 80,000 in public provident fund. Find out the net income and tax liability of Mr. Surendra for the assessment year 2020-21. So, in this case, in Surendra's case, first he was a government employee, right, where he is receiving a pension. That is one thing. Next thing, he is employed in P Limited and also Q Limited, right. Both the sides he is getting a salary. Clear? And also both the employers have provided him with the benefits. Clear? So, keeping all these information, we need to find out net income as well as tax liability of Mr. Surendra for the assessment year 2020-21. Right? First, we will go with a computation, how it will be done. Computation of net income and tax liability. Computation of net income and tax liability of Mr. Surendra. For the assessment year 2020-21, previous year, that you should write it as 1/4/2019 to 31st/3/2020. Clear? Right? We will go with this. So first thing is with respect to P Limited, what are the things he has got, right? That we will calculate, right? First is salary from P Limited, he has got 20,000 per month. Salary from P Limited, that is 20,000 per month he has received into 12 month you need to calculate. So it is 2,40,000. Clear? Afterwards, here in this case, they have also provided him HRA, house rent allowance has been provided. So where in this case, he is not given with an exemption because rent is not paid by Surendra. Surendra has not paid the rent. So no exemption is available as rent is not paid by Surendra. So HRA from P Limited. So what is the amount of HRA he has received? 6,000 per month he has received into 12 months. So no exemption is provided, right? So it is 72,000. Clear? Next, they have also provided a car where they say that 1500 cc means which is a small car, right? And also maintenance, everything is borne by the employer itself. So here car provided by P Limited, when it is said as 1500 cc means it is below 1600 cc. So where it is said as small car. So for the small car, tax means taxable value of perquisite is 1800 plus driver also has been provided. So for the driver it is 900 rupees, right? So into 12 you need to do car provided from P Limited. So 1800 plus 900, that is driver's salary into 12 months. So you need to calculate this. So this is 32,400. So these are the information related to what? P Limited, right? Afterwards we have to check with this. So but remember here with respect to this, they have said for driver 72,000 they have paid, but the limit what is said is as per the rule it is depending on the car 1800 plus 900, that will be the taxable value of perquisite. So this will be paid from the employee viewpoint as a tax. So he will be getting as an income this, and based on this he will be paying the tax, right? So now we will go with what are the components with respect to Q Limited he has got, right? So there also he has received the salary. So salary from Q Limited. Salary from Q Limited. So what is the amount of salary he has received in Q Limited? Per month 36,000 he has received. Per month 36,000 he has received into 12 months. So remember, whenever they have given based on the per month, at that time you need to convert it into 12 months. So it is 4,32,000. Clear? Next, transport allowance they have given. Transport allowance. So which is taxable allowance. So that is 1,800 they have given. So 1,800 into 12 months. So how much it is? 21,600. Clear? Next one, perquisite with respect to rent-free unfurnished house is there. So perquisite they have provided. Perquisite in respect of rent free unfurnished house has been provided to him. Right. So this we need to work it out. Right. So here we cannot directly take what is the value with respect to this. We need to find out the value of the perquisite with respect to rent-free unfurnished house that has been provided. Right. So here, for your understanding, he is getting, means Surendra is getting the salary from P Limited and Q Limited, and also pension he is receiving. That will be taxable as a salary income. Right. That is one thing. Afterwards, he is being provided with a rent-free unfurnished house at Hanuman Nagar by Q Limited, where the population of Hanuman Nagar is 11 lakh. And also here you need to remember, house is not owned by the employer. House is not owned by the employer. So in case house is not owned by the employer means, what you will be taking here at that point of time, value of perquisite will be determined based on the rate of 15% of salary, or right, or whatever the amount that is received by him, means actual rent paid by the employer. Right. Based on that we need to calculate here. Understanding? So here, what is the actual rent paid by the employer? That is 12,000 per month is paid by the employer. Clear? So normally what we have done in the previous sessions, we have also calculated the value of perquisite with respect to rent-free unfurnished house independently. Right? So now that particular component has been included in the salary problem. Clear? So now we need to evaluate the perquisite value with respect to rent-free unfurnished house. So before that, for that main component is what? Salary component we need, right? So I will be evaluating this. So where we will say that working note 1, right? With respect to rent-free unfurnished house. Unfurnished house. So we will evaluate. So with respect to this, we need salary component, right? Salary. So normally salary means basic salary, dearness allowance, bonus, commission, taxable allowance, monetary benefits, all those will be taken into consideration. So in this case, P Limited salary will be taken. He has got an allowance, that is HRA, that will be considered. Again from Q Limited he has got a salary, that will be considered. Again transport allowance, that will be considered. And again pension he has received, that will be considered. In total of all these things will be set as salary. Understanding? So in this case, first thing is, what is the amount? Means this will be considered. Again this will be considered. So we won't consider car because it is used for official purpose. So salary of this amount will be considered. Understanding? Again this amount will be considered. Pension we have not yet calculated, so that also we will consider. After this we will calculate pension, so that also we will consider. But pension, what is the amount of pension they have given? 8,000 per month you need to pay. Right? Means in the problem what they have mentioned, 8,000 per month is the pension amount what he is receiving. Right? So that also we will calculate. So here based on these components, so what will be the salary amount? So one thing is this 2,40,000 plus 72,000 plus 4,32,000 plus 21,600 plus pension, that is 8,000 into 12, that is 96,000. If you sum up all these things, you will be getting the value 8,61,600. 8,61,600. This is said as salary with respect to valuation of perquisite in respect of rent-free unfurnished house. Now we need to go with a condition. So what are the condition? What is a condition? 15% of salary. Means what does it mean? On this, that is 8,61,600 into 15% you need to calculate. Understanding? Right? 15% of salary, that is 8,61,600 into 15%. So if you calculate, you will get the value 1,29,240. 1,29,240. So this is one condition. Next condition is what? Actual rent paid by employer. Actual rent paid by which employer has paid? Q Limited has paid. Right? Q Limited has paid. So what is the amount they have paid here? Right? So as a rent, what is the amount that is being paid by the employer here is? Means they have paid 12,000 per month. Right? 12,000 per month they have paid. So 12,000 into 12 you need to calculate. So that is 1,44,000. Right? 1,44,000. So this is a rule. Separately, when we were calculating rent-free unfurnished house, we used to do this, right? So in the similar way. Now out of these two, whichever is less we need to consider. Whichever is less means this is less. Understanding? This value is less. So that is what we will consider here, perquisite in respect of rent-free unfurnished house. Understanding? So 1,29,240. Clear? Afterwards, also there is a contribution with respect to recognized provident fund as well as interest in the problem, right? Contribution paid by P Limited as well as Q Limited towards recognized provident fund, they have said 10%, means it is not exceeding 12%. The limit given by income tax authority, it is not exceeding 12%. So hence that amount is not taxable here, one thing. Next one, interest credited in provident fund account by both the employers, it does not exceed 9.5%, hence that is also not taxable. Understanding? So remaining component is pension component is there, where he is receiving it from the government. So pension from government, that is how much he is receiving here? 8,000 he is receiving into 12 months. So that is 96,000. Right? Hope you are clear here, right? Till here, these are the components that have been given. So now sum up all these values. Right? So that will be said as your gross salary. Gross salary. If you sum up this, that will be said as gross salary. So if you sum up, the value will be 23,240. 10,23,240. This is the amount of gross salary what you will be getting. Afterwards, normally there is a standard deduction given under section 16, that is 50,000, right? So, less deduction. So, under section, this is standard deduction that will be given. So, what is the amount of standard deduction they will be giving? 50,000. This you need to remember. This is again a rule. So, you will be deducting this 50,000 out of this. So, remaining amount is 9,73,240. 9,73,240. So, this is said as your net taxable salary or net income. Hope you are clear with this, right? So, income from salary or taxable salary it is said as, right? Taxable salary means for this Mr. Surendra need to pay the tax. Still problem is not over, right? Because in this case they have also provided with the information income from other sources, right? And also they have asked you to calculate tax liability. So now further we need to move on, right? We need to calculate based on this income, right? Now up to this it is salary income, how it will be, right? After this we also add the value with respect to other four heads. In this case we don't have other four heads income, but only with respect to other sources we have income from other sources, that we need to add it for this. Clear? So, what I will do here is, I will continue with this. For this, we will be adding income from other sources. So, what is the amount of income from other sources they have given here is, in the problem, they have said 4,90,000, right? But already we have considered a part of it, that is pension. 8,000 per month has been already taken. So again if we include there 4,90,000, it becomes double taxation. Means amount will be repeated again. So what we will do here is, out of that income from other sources, they had also said pension is included, right? So for 4,90,000 minus this 96,000 we need to do, right? So 4,90,000 minus your pension amount, this pension amount need to be deducted from this, right? So that is, remaining amount is 3,94,000. Clear? So we don't have any other information, right? So now if you sum up these two, right? If you sum up these two, it will be set as your what? Gross total income, because again still we need to give the deduction under section 80C to 80U. So we need to sum up the value here, that will be set as gross total income. Means this value as well as income from other sources need to be added. If you add that, you will be getting 13,67,240. 13,67,240. This amount you will get. Next, you need to give deduction under section 80C to 80U, right? So what are the deduction with respect to is available here means recognized provident fund is there as well as public provident fund is there. So that you need to give. So on what? Again, on what you will be giving the recognized provident fund? Deduction on recognized provident fund is at 10%, means they have contributed 10% of it. So on this you need to give 10%, that is on 2,40,000 you need to give 10%. Again 4,32,000 you need to give 10%. Clear? So 2,40,000 into 10% plus 4,32,000 into 10% plus he has contributed 80,000 to PPF, Public Provident Fund, 80,000. This amount need to be added. If you sum up all these things, you will be getting 1,47,200. 1,47,200 you will be getting. Clear? So you need to give the deduction. That is, remaining amount will be set as your net income. So 12,20,000 40, 12,20,040 is the net income what you have got. Clear? Till here we have finished the part net income. This is how you will be computing your net income with respect to total income. Also it is set, because all the 5 heads of income can be considered here, but with respect to salary as well as income from other sources, only 2 things they have given. So that is how we have calculated. Next thing is tax liability we need to calculate. We need to calculate tax liability, where you need to remember the slabs, right? So these slabs were discussed in the first chapter. Slab rates that you need to remember, where below 60 years, 60 to 80 years, above 80 years, right? Senior citizen, super senior citizen. Next thing is below that, nor others, it is said as others, where slab limit is 2,50,000, till there it is nil. 2,50,000 to 5 lakh, 5%. 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 20%. 10 lakh to 50 lakh, 30%. Again 50 lakh to 1 CR, it is 30% plus 10% surcharge. 1 CR to 2 CR, 30% plus 15% of surcharge. 2 CR to 5 CR, 30% plus 25% surcharge. Above 5 CR, it is 30% plus 37% surcharge. And health and education cess will be considered. Health and education cess will be considered. That is what you need to go with, right? So based on this, you need to calculate the tax liability. So, but our income is, to what extent it is here means, it is within 50 lakh. So 5%, 20%, 30% will be applicable for us while calculating, right? So we will understand how the tax liability will be calculated based on the slab rate. But one thing, you need to know the slab rates based on the age, because in the problem they had said Surendra 50 years, means this will be falling under other categories. So normally whenever they are asking you to calculate tax liability, they might give you the age of that particular person. Clear? So here up to 2.5 lakh, what it is? Nil. Understand carefully. Next is 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh. It is at 5%. So what is the difference here? 2.5 is the difference. 2 lakh 50,000 is the difference. Into 5% you need to calculate. Right? So that will be 12,500. Understanding? Next is 5 lakh to 10 lakh at 20%. So here difference amount is 5 lakh into 20%. So that is 1 lakh. Next is 10 lakh to this amount, 12 lakh 20,000 40. 12 lakh 20,000 40 at 30%. Understanding? At 30%. So what will be the difference of this? 2 lakh 20,000 40 into 30%. This is what you need to calculate, right? So this is 66,012. So hope you are clear here, right? So why I have taken this amount? Why I did not take 50 lakh? Because our income is up to 12. I cannot consider 50 lakh. Clear? So based on this, we have got this value. So now you need to add this, right? 1,78,512. So this amount is said as tax on net income. Tax on net income. Clear? Afterwards, there is one more thing you need to give. That is cess. Health and education cess at 4% need to be given. Clear? So add health and education cess. Education cess at 4%. On what you need to give 4% means on tax. On tax. On tax means on this amount. Right? So 1,78,512 into 4%. This is what you need to give. Right? That is 7,140. Afterwards, sum up. That will be 1,85,652. 1,85,652. This is the tax liability what Surendra will be paying. Clear? So this is how you will be calculating net income and tax liability. Hope you are clear with this now, right? So in this case, they had asked us to calculate net income and tax liability. So what we did, first thing we calculated with respect to salary based on the components given. Afterwards, we went with calculation of net income. This is including income from other sources. Next thing is we gave deduction. Afterwards, we calculated the tax liability. Right? Hope you are clear with this. This is how the problem will be asked. Either for case study they might ask you, or else it will be a normal 10 marks problem what they will be asking. Thank you.